everyone, myself Kamna Singh, Assistant Professor in Computer Science and Engineering Department in Akgec Engineering College. Today we are going to discuss the topic data transfer. Actually, data transfer is again further subdivided, that is a asynchronous and synchronous data transfer. So today we are discussing about the asynchronous and synchronous data transfer. What is data transfer? Data transfer is what? When the two devices are communicated and they are communicating with a message passing. Suppose this is the first device, or you can say that is the hardware component. If the hardware components, and again the hardware components nomenclature is like U1 and U2. When the hardware components are communicating each other and they are passing the messages or they are communicating, then this is called a data transfer. Again, the data transfer is of two types, asynchronous data transfer and the synchronous data transfer. Asynchronous data transfer means when both the whatever you can say here, there is a source and there is a destination device, fine, or a sender or receiver, whatever. There is a source and destination device. Source is transmitting some message and destination is responding according to that. Now, in the source and destination, if the source and destination having the same clock, means at the same time they are receiving and transmitting the signal, then it is called the synchronous data transfer. And when the source and destinations are not in the same clock or they are not transmitting at the same time, then it is called the asynchronous data transfer. So you can say the data transfer is of, there is a data transfer. Now, data transfer is again two device types, that is a asynchronous data transfer and synchronous data transfer. Again, asynchronous is of two types, that is a Strobe control and handshaking method. In the handshaking method, again further it is subdivided into source initiated data transfer, source initiated data transfer, and destination initiated data transfer as a Strobe control. Again, the handshaking method is again further subdivided into two types, that is a source initiated handshaking method and destination initiated handshaking method. It means what? The data transfer is of two types, asynchronous and synchronous. If the two devices, there is a two device, suppose there is a two devices are there, they are communicating and getting the acknowledge. If both these two devices are having a same clock, if the same clock is there, then it is called the synchronous data transfer. And the synchronous data transfer is again two types, that is a parallel communication and serial communication. And in asynchronous data transfer, it is of two types, that is Strobe control and handshaking method. In the Strobe control, again it is further subdivided, that is a source initiated, means what? If source is initiating for the communication, then it is called source initiated. If the destination is ready to initiate the communication, then it is called as a destination initiated communication. And handshaking method, handshaking is again of two types, that is a source. Whatever drawbacks over here in the Strobe control method, then it will be overcome by the handshaking method. In the handshaking method, there is a source initiated and the destination initiated data transfer. Now, in the first method, that is a Strobe control. First thing, that is the Strobe control. What do you mean by the Strobe control? It is just as a control line, a single control line to transferring the data between the devices. First of all, you have to understand two signals. That is a first signal is DV. DV is what? Data valid line. Data valid line, suppose that I am and two students are going to communicate each other. The first thing is they are saying that I have some data and I want to communicate with you. That is what? Data valid line is what? That actually that particular device is having some valid data, some meaningful data, and they want to communicate or pass the message to the destination. Then this data valid line is 1. Data valid because it is a single bit value. So it can be data valid value can be 0 or 1. Data valid value 1 means what? This source having some data which is valid. And if data valid value is 0, it means the communication device or whatever the device is there, they have no data to transfer. Fine. Now, Strobe control is of two types, source initiated and destination initiated. First thing is there in the source unit. With the help of the data bus, as you know, there are the buses also of 3 types. What? Data bus, address bus and control bus. Data bus is useful to carry the data from one device to another device. Now, when the source unit is transferring the data to the destination, means who is going to communicate or who is going to initiate that data transfer? That is the source. That's why it is called as source initiated Strobe control for data transfer. Now, with the help of the data bus, a Strobe control or a data valid value 1 is transferring to the destination unit. And after transferring the data, dv equal to 0. This is the source to destination. Again, the same procedure will be followed here in the destination initiated. In this time, the Strobe signal will be transferring from destination to source because it is a destination initiated. Means the destination device is initiating the communication or transferring the data from one device to another device. That's why here destination is initiating or starting the communication. That is a Strobe dv equal to 1. Fine. And the timing diagram you can see here, that valid data means nothing but it is a dv equal to 1. Now, the main problem in the Strobe control, when suppose that there is a source and there is a destination. I have a source and destination and I am transferring the data as dv equal to 1. In this dv equal to 1, actually dv equal to 1, that signal doesn't carry any message. Only that is, I have a data, I am transferring the data. After that, dv equal to 1, it will transmit the signal and data transferring is starting, transferring the data. The main problem in the Strobe control, my data or a data valid value has been reached to the destination or not. We don't know. We don't have any method so that I can, I have to know that destination, this particular destination reached this dv because there is no acknowledgement from the destination side. So that is the main drawback in the Strobe control of the source initiated or a destination initiated. Means at the starting, source unit transferring the data dv equal to 1. I have a data, I want to communicate. And then after they are transferring the data to the destination. But from the destination, there is no acknowledgement at all. Because the acknowledgement may be possible, your dv value or a data value will be lost. Still, that values will be lost. Still, we don't know that my value is lost. It is not being reached to the destination. That's why, because there is no acknowledgement factor from the destination, then there is a main drawback. This particular drawback will be overcome by the handshaking method. So, simply you can see here in the Strobe control as we discussed already. Now, in the data transfer, as we already discussed, that Strobe control is source initiated and destination initiated. Now, in the handshaking method. In the handshaking method, what will going on? There is again, in the Strobe method, that is the main problem is what? The source unit that initiate the transfer has no way to for the acknowledgement. There is no way that the destination unit got the data or destination unit got the DV equal to 1. We don't have any acknowledgement. Because of this problem is solved by the handshaking method. Now, in the handshaking method, what is going on? In the handshaking method, handshaking method is again source initiated and destination initiated. Suppose that we are using this source initiated data transfer. Suppose we are trying to hit here. This is my source and this is destination. And don't be confused with the source or destination. Source is just as your particular device. It can be a CPU, it can be a RAM, it can be your auxiliary memory or a virtual memory, it can be anything. And destination can be register, your CPU, your memory, your RAM, whatever. That can be some hardware components will be there. Fine. In the handshaking method, why it is came into the existence? Because in the Strobe control, there is no way to finding out the method for the acknowledgement from the destination. Means I don't know that my data has been reached there or not. That's why there is a handshaking method. In the handshaking method, there are 3 types. 3 phases are there actually. The first phase is the mutual consent. Mutual consent is connection establishment. In the second method, that is the data transfer. And the third is connection close. Fine. So, first thing is that it is just like if I want to communicate with you, at that moment, I am asking you that are you free? If you are free, then we are going to communicate. That is, we both parties are going to taking a mutual consent that if both we are free, then we are going to communicate. After that, we are transferring the data and then connection close. So, in the handshaking method, there is a source and destination. At the starting, what is going on? The first thing is that DV equal to 1. This DV equal to 1 means actually I have a data because it is source initiated. So, source will start communication. So, at the time of source, it is sending DV. DV equal to 1 signal. This particular signal doesn't carry any data. There is no data at all. There is only transmitting the DV equal to 1 that I have a data I want to communicate. Now, this DV equal to 1, this line is called as a data bus. Now, at the destination, if destination is free, then it is transmitting as DA equal to 1. DA equal to 1 means I got your data, that is not a data, that is a data valid line and I am ready to communicate. Fine. So, that is the mutual consent. Both are saying yes. And now we can start the communication. So, this value, this phase is called connection establishment. This is the first phase of the handshaking method. Now, in this point, in the connection establishment, no data transfer is going on. In the second phase, there is a transferring the data. This source is transferring the data and this is value is transmitting the acknowledgement. Again, it is transferring the data. Suppose data 1, next data 2 and it is transmitting the data accepted line. Fine. It means there is a mutual consent and they are also acknowledging that I have received that data. This value is called data transfer. Now, in the third phase, because the source is starting the communication, source is initiating the communication, that's why in this phase, connection close will be the responsibility of the source. It means what? The source is transferring the data. Now, I have no data. DV equal to 0. Means what? I don't have a data. I am transmitting all the data what I want to communicate. Now, the destination again transmitting this message, that is a data accepted line is 1. Means whatever you have a data or not, but still I receive that your signal. I receive this signal. then it is called DA equal to 1, means acknowledgement from there. And now it is transmitting that now I am not going to accept any data. You are transmitting, connection closes there from here, and now the destination is transmitting this DA equal to 1, means actually I received your DV equal to 0, and this DA equal to 0 means I am ready to close the connection. After that, this connection is going to close. That are the 3 phases of the handshaking method. In the handshaking method, always remember, there is always the acknowledgement from the second party. Whenever you are going to communicate from one component to the other component, always there is a acknowledgement, like this source initiated, and in the source initiated, source is starting the communication and source is closing the connection. Now, in the destination initiated, if I am saying there is a destination initiated communication, again the same procedure will be followed. That is a source and destination, the same procedure. But in the destination method, destination will start the same thing. That is, I have a data, I want to communicate, and the source is transmitting that, okay, I accept it. DA equal to 1. You can see here, the both is same, only it is source initiated and it is destination initiated. So, destination will be started from here and the source will start it from here. That's why it is called source initiated and the destination initiated. After that, this is the connection establishment. Then, data transfer is again transferring started from the destination, not the source. Data 1 is coming from the source and destination initiated, data 1 is coming from the destination, and it will be acknowledgement that I got the data. Again they are transmitting data 1, 2, 3 and so on, and it is transmitting that I received the data. The same procedure will be followed and this will called as a data transfer. Now, the same procedure, that is source to destination. Now, who is going to close the connection? Because it is destination initiated. So, now destination will start for closing the connection. It means what? It is transmitting that DV equal to 0. I don't have a data and I don't want to communicate. I actually complete my data transfer. Every data transfer is completed. So that DV equal to 0. Now again, source will be started that now DA equal to 1. I received your data. I received and I am agree with that. For agreement, it is sending DA equal to 0. Now with this, connection close will be there. This is the handshaking with the source initiated and the destination initiated data transfer. Fine. You can see here, connection establishment, data transfer and the connection close. So, you can see that is a handshaking method having a 3 phases, that is the first phase, second and third. First phase is the connection establishment, the second is the data transfer and the third is the connection close. In the connection establishment, there is no data is going to be transferred. Only the DV equal to 1 is going to transfer. In the second phase, all the data, whatever the source or a destination have, they are transferring the data. And after that, when all the transferring of the data will be completed, after that the connection close will be there. So, this is the same. Now, the source initiated transfer. With this particular diagram, you can see simply that is the block diagram, source and destination, and these lines, whatever we are seeing now, these lines are what? These lines are the data bus actually, data accepted line, and these lines are the data bus. Now this is the source and destination. The data bus, data valid means DV equal to 1, data accepted means DA. This data valid is DV equal to 1 and DA equal to 1, the valid data line. And with the sequence of event, you can see here, first the source unit is data is transferring to the destination. Destination unit accept that data, and then after that, when the closing the connection, then it will disable that data valid. Disable the data valid line means what? DV equal to 0. And then here you can see in the destination unit, disable the data accepted line means disable that data accepted equal to 0. The same procedure we already discussed. Again the same, it was the source initiated, and the next one is the destination initiated data transfer. In the destination initiated data transfer, you can see here data bus, data valid, and again the ready for the data. Here destination will start here. I have a data DV equal to 1, it is accepted, that data accepted value is 1, and after closing the connection, it will transmitting DV equal to 0, and it is transmitting that DA equal to 0. So that the closing the connection. Now this is the, we already read that what? Synchronous data transfer. That is what? Synchronous data transfer is of what? That is the Strobe control and the handshaking method. Strobe control is again of two types, that is a source initiated and destination initiated, and next was handshaking. Handshaking is again two types, source initiated and destination initiated. Now in the asynchronous serial transfer, in the asynchronous transfer, these are the two types, that is a serial and parallel communication. In the serial communication means when data is transferring by as a single stream like 0, 1, 0, 0, whatever the bit stream is there, like this source serial communication is going on. And when this particular, in the serial, there is a two things are there. There is a start bit and stop bit. Only you have to remember these three things. That is what, whenever in the serial data transfer, you are transferring the data from one device to another device, that moment all the bit stream is going on as a serially. And this, in that particular serially, for this, the message is to be bifurcated. Every time the message will be different. So for the message bifurcation, there is a first is the start bit and the last is the stop bit. Again, these are the 0101 combination, but there is a start bit and a stop bit. And this is the example of the serial communication. You can see any communication between the devices like the hard disk to CPU or CPU to memory, these all are the serial communication. And in the parallel communication, that is what? Parallel communication, suppose that I have a source and the destination and I have a 8 data 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0. All these things are communicated parallelly. That is the parallel communication, and the general example of this is keyboard. For the keyboard communication, the parallel communication is going on. And the one more thing I want to discuss, that is in the data transfer, what I have written over there, that is this is the synchronous data transfer, and this is the asynchronous data transfer, that is a parallel and serial communication. And in the handshaking, there are 3 phases are there. We can simply revise that. Thank you.